And joining us now, Senator Maria Cantwell of Washington State. She's the top Democrat on the Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee. Today, Senator, you and Republican Senator Chuck Grassley actually introduced a bill to reassert congressional authority over U.S. trade policies. How would this bill achieve that? And do you think there's enough support for this legislation to pass both the Senate and the House?
Well, Wolf, we thought it was critical that we get this discussion going. The fact that Congress's duty and responsibility is not just interstate commerce, but foreign commerce. And Senator Grassley, as a former chairman of the Finance Committee, has played a key role in making sure that we continue to play this role. So we're saying that, yes, Congress should review these issues, that it is time that in the past we may have directed a president to negotiate trade agreements, but this is time now because of the lack of rules-based approach to this, that Congress should review this.
What are you hearing, Senator, from your constituents about these latest Trump-imposed tariffs? How concerned are your constituents that prices for all sorts of products will rise?
Well, Wolf, I represent one of the most trade-dependent states in the nation. And when you think about the state of Washington, you think about aviation, airplane exports, you think about Microsoft and technology exports. You think about a big agriculture state with apples and cherries and wheat. Wheat, 90% of it is exported. So and we have lots of ports where we move everybody else's products to overseas markets. So we want to increase exports, and we do that by opening up world markets. And so we want trade, not tariffs.
Many foreign leaders, as you know, across the world right now, they are vowing to retaliate against the United States. So what could that mean if this global trade war escalates even more dramatically?
Well, I think I just heard on the break there the Premier of Canada saying he is retaliating. I think that's what I heard. And so that is the point about tariffs. Why? They should, in my opinion, we should be building alliances. What tariffs mean is you're in the start of a trade dispute that could last years. In fact, we had one in our state on polysilicon that lasted over 10 years and then still didn't result in any progress. So all that the tariff means is that you are in a dispute, the retaliation makes it worse, and then the consumer pays the price. We should be building alliances to open up markets, and the United States should continue with capitalism. Your guests that were just on were outlining why this is so critical. The world has changed even since the last Trump administration. Supply chains are more integrated and they are more interdependent, but we're driving down the cost of production. And so now, all of a sudden, if you throw a wrench in that, it hurts everybody, but particularly businesses and consumers.
Our CNN politics senior reporter, Stephen Collinson, writes this, and I'm quoting him now from his article on CNN.com, quote, "Trump's 2 terms are proof that the benefits of globalization are not universally shared. Many of the swing states Trump won in 2016 and 2024 are scarred by industrial decline. Voters there remember promises made to them by previous presidents and think they were lied to," end quote. Senator, factory workers and the working class were once the heart of your party, the Democratic Party. What do you say to these Americans who are desperate for those jobs to return to the United States?
Well, that's why we fought so hard for the CHIPS and Science Act and was so proud that we had Intel committing to a factory in Ohio. That was massive. It's saying that the high-tech economy can come to a community by you. And you have to grow and skill the workforce. So we want to, besides opening up markets, want to make a major investment in upskilling the workforce of the United States to take advantage. But with those bills, the Innovation Act that we did, you saw lots of supply chains on battery technology, next generation technology, on semiconductors, all moving to the United States. People were saying, if you want to innovate, go to the United States, and they will drive down the cost. But this just threw a wrench into that.
We're seeing more warning signs right now that the tariffs just announced by President Trump threaten to plunge the U.S. and various global economies into recession. Is that where we are all headed?
Well, I hope not. I hope that my colleagues will join us today in saying, let's have a debate about this. I actually think it's a good thing to show that Congress is going to reinsert itself. But the point here is the reason why you have a trade regime is to have rules, to have a rules-based discussion. That's so important when you're negotiating a trade agreement. When you go the tariff route, you are just throwing down and basically causing the economic disruption. So let's go back to what we in the United States want. We want access to a larger market, but we're also supposed to be the leaders of capitalism. We're trying to say that capitalism and capital markets, now some other day you'll have me on and I'll talk about the things you need to do to rein in capitalism, but in general, we want more capital formation, more capital markets, we want exports, and when we, the United States, lead that charge, we bring other countries along with those rules-based regimes. And that's what we should be advocating at a time when it's important to have more alliances, not less. If you want to counter China, build some alliances with some other high-tech countries around the world and then lay that down.